Serge told me you made it into the guild. You need dirt on anything, you talk to me. The only thing I heard is a rumor that a boy named Aventus Aretino in Windhelm has been attempting to contact the Dark Brotherhood. He used to live here in Riften at the orphanage on the other side of town, but I think he ran away. Can't say I blame him.
Tell me about the Blackbriars.
The only thing I heard is a rumor that a
Oh,
boy
you're
named
worthless.
Aventus Aretino in Windhelm has been attempting to contact the Dark Brotherhood.
Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I'm the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Passage, a Skyrim SE Let's Play, featuring Ettient Jorel. In the last episode, we did all kinds of fancy stuff, including getting ourselves into the Thieves Guild and dealing with some of the aftermath of that whole situation. We had some pipe dreams about upgrading our gear, but then couldn't get all the steel that we needed to do so. And now here we are, the same day. We've simply come down here to the docks, and we just talked to Maul. Now, generally, Maul doesn't have a whole lot to say to you, even after you're in the guild. He just pretty much is there as a mouthpiece to try to entice you to join the guild. But we're using him for more than that. So at this point, Maul has informed us that Maven is not particularly happy with the fact that she can never seem to find us when she needs us. She can't find Etienne. And she is now insisting that he take up some kind of residence where he can be contacted and where he's closer into the city. And we have been encouraged to talk to Boley, the owner of the fishery, and we're being told that he has a place that maybe we can crash if we do him a favor or two. So, we need to talk to Boley and sort that whole thing out.
The Thieves Guild used to run this city. Now they're nothing but braggarts and bullies, rotting to death.
There he is right there. Hey.
New in town, eh? Here for the fishing, I guess.
No, we talked about this before, remember?
There's nothing like fishing on Lake Onrek. You should try it sometime.
So, who buys all your fish?
I sell my catch across a good portion of Skyrim. It's worth its weight in gold to me. The only untapped market left is Markarth. However, I just got word that Klepper at the Silver Blood Inn might be interested. If you're headed that way, I would appreciate you delivering a purchase agreement for me. You'd be paid, of course.
Right. Yeah, I'll do it.
Good. Klepper will pay you as soon as you arrive with the letter. Here you are.
All right. So we've got a purchase agreement.
Remember to give at the temple.
Yeah, right. All right. So we're off, ladies and gentlemen. We are going on a little adventure back to Markarth. Well, I sort of feel like he's being left here as an example, don't you? Somebody at least did the service of taking the arrow out of his unit. But he's still kind of laid out there like it's the crucifixion or something. It's weird. All right. Let's go do this. This will be fun. We'll get out on the road again. Etienne needs to stretch his legs.
What is it?
Now, this is a long trek, so let's make sure that we're geared up, and I think we also want to make sure that we've eaten a little something and are hydrated. But that's okay. This gives us actually time to consider everything that's happened. Maven is definitely flexing her muscle now. She's starting to insist that we take up a residence in close to the city, somewhere, I'm assuming, where she can send messengers or keep an eye on us, that kind of thing. We'll go ahead and play her game for now. But we're still going to maintain our secret camp. That's not changing. We are now a full dues-paying member of the Thieves Guild as well. We have our first mission, which, as a matter of fact, is this place, which we're told has basically been turned into a veritable fortress with the help of what sounds like a rather large band of mercenaries. And, you know, this trek across the province will likely afford us an opportunity to pick up some additional steel and upgrade our gear. So I disassembled our upgraded grindstone so that we can set it up wherever we need to get the job done.
Leave me alone.
I don't have time for this foolishness. Now come along quietly, and we won't have to get rough. Brother, I think she's telling the truth.
I'm not going anywhere. Now back off before I do something drastic.
She doesn't have the scar. What? Oh, you're right. We've made a mistake. Now move along before that mouth of yours gets you into trouble.
Next time you're looking to pester someone, make sure it's the right person.
So the main thing that Etienne is concerned about is locating his sister. They need help, or they got that in hand, do you think? Got him. And the mysterious arrow flies out of the forest. No fog today, but it flies out of the forest. Bolt. Sounded like that bear was just about on top of us there. Gosh, I hope that wasn't the family dog. I mean, it sounded like a vicious wolf, and this kid's standing out here. Well, yeah, look, there's dead chicken. These guards aren't helping at all. All right, so we got to make it all the way to Markarth. But I think it makes sense that we We'll stop by Iverstad. We'll make this delivery of pilfered Blackbriar mead, and then we'll continue on our way. Somebody on the road there. So basically, on Etienne's mind all the time is thinking about, where is his sister? Maven specifically mentioned in her note that Kerway was working for her. And so the first reasonable course of action in his mind was to start by checking at the meadery. It was a long shot. I think Etienne knew that the chances of her being at the meadery were slim to none, but he had to rule it out. If she really wanted to hide Kerway from him, that would be a bit obvious, right? So the key now is trying to figure out what other kinds of businesses she has her fingers in and where those businesses are. And what we've learned so far is that while Maven has a lot of legitimate business dealings, she probably has just as many that are nefarious. We have reason to suspect that she's involved in the skooma trade in some way. We don't know if it's directly or indirectly yet, but we're trying to sort that out. And we've already done a significant amount of legwork in Riften to try and track down the source of the skooma. And we have a pretty good idea what that source is now. The only remaining problem, of course, is that the area where supposedly the skooma dealers are operating out of is a warehouse that's under the control of the Jarl. And the Jarl holds the key to that, and at some point we're going to have some kind of a serious confrontation with the Jarl about the issue of the warehouse. What Etienne is trying to work out now is how it might be possible for him to have that conversation with Layla Lawgiver in private, as opposed to having a public audience with her and airing that dirty laundry in front of everyone. Mainly, he doesn't want people to know that he's on the trail. That doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, he could become a target. But also, I mean, he literally doesn't know who all is involved in the skooma trade. So it's very possible that someone who might end up being the subject of his investigation could be there. Could be there in the same audience chamber where he's asking the questions. So really, the conversation with her needs to happen in private. And I think that Etienne also believes that if he speaks with her in private, he perhaps has a better chance of determining whether or not she's lying to him, you know? when he can really watch her closely and stuff. We're going to stay out of sight of that guy. So he's got a lot on his mind right now. And Maven is smart. I mean, she keeps making requests of him that are probably specifically designed to try and limit his meddling. If you think about it. I mean, she obviously knows that he's finding a way to come and go from the city in secret, and that he's not staying at the inn. And so what does she do? She uses the leverage with Kerway to insist that he take up residence someplace where she can keep track of him. Makes perfect sense. And now she's sending him on this little milk run. She's not doing it directly, but presumably she's smart enough to know what Bolli is likely to ask of him. And I don't necessarily see it as an accident that Bolli needs to get an important business document into the Reach. It seems to make sense to me that they would automatically look at the Hound and say, hey, we know a guy who can do this, right? So at this point, there's lots of questions. And there's even questions about Bolli himself. I mean, on the surface, he seems like a businessman and a philanthropist and all that kind of stuff. Wolves are angry here. But who knows? He could be in deep with Maven. We have no way of knowing. So we can't trust anybody, really. So again, Ettient is just trying to sift through all of this information and try to figure out what his next course of action is. And right now, he's thinking to himself that he's got two options at this point. He can pursue this idea that she may be involved in the skooma trade, try to prove it, and then try to ferret out that whole thing, just by process of elimination, making sure that his sister is now somehow secreted away in some skooma den somewhere or whatever. Or the other option is just to try his best to get a look inside of all of Maven Blackbriar's residences and other places of business. There may be other places besides the meadery, but we know that she lives in the city. So it's possible that Kerway is there. It doesn't seem likely, but it's certainly possible.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
No. Someone stole my sister, asshat. All right.
Welcome to the Villamere Inn. If there's anything I can get you, just let me know. We don't get many visitors through here, unless they're headed up to High Hrothgar, of course.
Well, that's not me.
If I were you, I'd keep away from the barrow on the east side of town. It's haunted.
Hey, I've got a delivery from Romlin.
All right, pipe down. You want the whole blessed place to hear you? The arrangement called for a trade. I hope you'll find this suitable.
Trade. Oh, fine. Carrying a ring's better than a
Pass through
keg.
again. Stop by for a drink.
Sure. Rustic.
Pardon me, my lord. Would you care to hear me play my lute?
Play the lute? No, I don't really have time for that. All right. Etienne is pretty tired. Let's see what he's got just for provisions we can grab quick. Because we're not going to want to cook a meal
Need a
tonight.
room? Let me know if I can get you anything.
What do you got for sale?
Take a look.
All right. Some bread, some cooked beef sounds great. Some Alto wine.
If you pass through again, stop by for a drink.
All right. I think I just did, didn't I?
If you fancy a bit of music, let me know.
All right. Let's see if we can find a good place to camp. Maybe back here by the river somewhere. Hey, this looks good right here. Nice and flat. A flat parcel of land. We're setting up camp a little early just because didn't do a whole lot of sleeping last night. Okay. Oh, are you going to tell me I can't set up here? Yeah, that stinks. Okay. Huh. I wonder where would be legal. How about here? Is this illegal too? I think it has to do with whether or not I'm trying to set it up on a path that NPCs might follow or something like that. It could also be... Yeah. All right. So if it's... I'm guessing that if the area has been nav meshed and set up as a primary path, in other words, it's been nav meshed so that NPCs might likely travel along it, then I can't camp there. So that's going to kind of rule out anything inside of Iberstad here. By the way, I should mention that I am using a series of mods by Thalmor that enhance all of the small villages and hamlets in the game. And I elected to use these as opposed to things like Dawn of Skyrim or JK's mods and stuff like that. I'm kind of keeping the main cities vanilla, but I like the enhanced hamlets that Thalmor has done. He does all the towns individually, so you can download just the ones you want. And when we first started playing the passage, because we were in the Reach, I just downloaded the add-on for Karthwasten and the Sinkhole. But as we've expanded our travels into new parts of the map, I've downloaded the other ones that we're going to be running into as well. And what I like is the way Thalmor does this is he just is creating additional buildings in the towns to accommodate those citizens that live in the town who don't seem to have a residence. So, you know, for example, normally when you come to Iberstad, you see citizens all over the place in the tavern, coming and going. There's a good portion of those people who don't actually have a home that they live in. This takes care of that. So for me, it really kind of makes these these little hamlets look nice, really look cool. But it does it, I think, for the right reasons. It's not just adding bric-a-brac, it's adding buildings for the specific purpose of making sure that all the NPCs in the game actually have a place to live, which makes a whole lot of sense to me. And then the fact that it's created by Thalmor gives me a lot of confidence that it's a mod that's going to be well crafted. So I've downloaded his whole suite, which covers all the smaller towns, and I've been very, very happy with it. So I've tried to list them all in the list in the video description, but there are a few mods I know are missing from that list, and I'm sure I'll eventually get them over time, but... Alright. Alright, people. Let's find us a cool place to camp. Set up this way. So in the forest like this is where you can really see the effects of simply bigger trees. I mean, that's a real tree right there. I love it. Without simply bigger trees, basically all the birch trees kind of look like this. They're sort of smaller. Now you got some big ones mixed in, which I think is really a great enhancement. I love that. Well, this looks like it's got some possibilities up here. Generally, I look for some place that's sort of small, compact, defensible, that kind of thing. Having some nice views is always good, too. I like that. Canis route. Gotta take the Canis route. Well, we're just climbing higher and higher. But we're familiar with this area. We've been through here before, when we took our sneaky route through the rift. Recognize that tower. Alright, so we're up pretty high here. Let's carefully descend. Somewhere down below us here is the trail. Because there's the river. So the trail's got to be breaking across here pretty quick, I would think. And what we've learned from experience is that it doesn't have to be a big space. It's just got to be reasonably flat. Look at this, right here. That looks nice. We could make this work, right? It's not perfectly flat, but this little nook right here is not bad at all. So let's try it out. Oh, back. Let's go back more. More. That seems pretty good. All right. Next step, of course, is to build our fire, set up our cooking gear. so let's try the fire ring here. Let's bring it back a bit more. There we go. That was pretty good. Place our cooking pot. All right, now before we get any further, let's just double check our bearings here. That saber cat down there. Okay, so the trail that we're following actually goes right along the river there. Mr. Sabercat doesn't know we're up here, and that's just fine. Excuse me. That's not a bad spot there for camping either. Yeah, look at this whole rock face here. This is like camper's dream. Lots of flat area. Okay, there's the trail there. So, yeah, the trail is pretty much doing a little loop right around where we're sitting. There's our tent way up there. So, we're in pretty good shape. When we wake up in the morning, it's going to be a short... Hey, what's this? Huh. There are barrels sitting out here. Stone Singer. Huh. What's in the sack? Oh, no, no, no. I want to see what's in the sack. What's in the sack? More apples. Somebody brought a pile of apples out here. Interesting. Pretty close access to fresh water. There's our tower up there. Wow. I love this spot. Alright, now, hopefully, with any luck, we can actually get back up to our campsite. That would be horrible. Let's get right up here. Come on now. Oh, look at that. There's a bird nest that's actually supported by branches. That is not a levitation lark. That is something else. More traditional bird. Alright. Well, this is going to be just fine. So, let's do this. Thanks for coming back to the story, everybody. 3 pieces of dead wood. That might not do it. Let's do it again. Come on. There's got to be a lot of wood around here. Please. Three more. Alright. We better get down to business. Okay, we got to make some kindling. Some more. Wow. Camping perk progress increase. They're not messing with me, are they? It's for real this time? Let's do a flickering fire. Okay. All right, let's get a little bit more dead wood. Gonna make our fire a little bit bigger. That way it'll last through most of the night. There we go. Perfect. That seems very good. Well, we seem to always have the ingredients for potato soup, don't we? So let's make a couple servings of that. And then, you know what? Let's just turn in. No, he's not going to sit down. Am I going to bug out now again? Yeah, I'm bugging out. Wouldn't let me do it. Once again, something about the area that I've placed the tent. So I'm not going to tempt fate. We're just going to use the standard options here. Okay, so we got the bread, which goes great with some hot potato soup. And we got the beef to go with it, and the Alto wine, which is delicious, and a little palate cleanser. Nice. Feeling pretty good. Well, with every little adventure, our kit gets just a bit better each time. Now we're sporting some pretty nice enchanted gear. We've got more bonuses in archery and a little bit of extra protection with the cuirass. And once we get to some civilization and can acquire some more steel, we'll be able to further upgrade pretty much everything, I think. All right, let's get some rest. You know what? Let's not. Before we do that, since we have a working fire here, let's check our skills and see what we got going on. Kind of forgot about that. There it is. Okay. Firecraft. So, let's just look. Okay, well, yeah, we have one perk to increase. So, light campfires 14 seconds faster in all weather conditions when using the strike stone. Okay, that makes sense. We look at Trailblazer. We get an additional 15 stamina when using a walking stick. See, we never carry the walking stick, though. We have it with us, but it's always kind of a pain in the butt to pull it out. I feel like we need to have our bow out to defend ourselves, so I haven't been doing that. Resourceful. 25% chance of gathering one extra branch or piece of deadwood for each one harvested. Lit campfire, this is the one we want right here. Our campfires will last longer, and we'll gather more wood each time we attempt it. Yes. Bam, look at that. We finally acquired another perk. I can't believe it. All right. And the little bug closes us out. Excellent. Now we go to sleep. 8 hours. And because we built a larger fire, we're feeling uplifted, right? Looking forward to another wonderful day of travel. Let's have an apple. A little bit of cheese. Finish the last of that stew, which has probably seen better days. And let's destroy campfire. And get packed up. All right. It's as if we were never here, right? It's the way it's supposed to work. All right, now we have to get safely down. Oh, there's still torch bugs out. What time is it? Oh, 7 a.m. This was kind of an interesting little find. Once again, another thing that I've not seen in game before. Nope. A little texture issue going on here. Let's explore this for a minute. Hey, look at this. Uh-oh. We recognize that totem, though. That means Thalmor. Feeling like that's a whole bunch of trouble we're not interested in right now. Ugh. I don't know what's going on with this texture here. So we're gonna stay on the trail. We won't mess with you if you don't mess with us. How about that? There he is right there. Hey, big boy. Just... you cool your heels right there. We're just moving on. Let's scooch on out here and have a look. Get our bearings. Really is amazing, you know? Okay, we're cutting across the switchback. It's a little bit of a time saver, but mostly it's something to do to sort of keep anyone or anything that might be thinking of attacking us off balance. Oh, okay. We did some work here. That is the fort that had all the necromancers in it. We cleaned that fort out, and then right across the road is where we picked up den gear when we did our escort mission. Our good friend den gear. Okay, here's the trail. Got a fox on the trail there who doesn't seem to be alarmed with anything, so makes me feel at least reasonably confident that we have the path to ourselves at this point. We'll play it safe, though. Get down here and take a look down the road. Looks pretty good. Yeah, the series of mods I was talking about earlier actually adds additional buildings to Darkwater Crossing as well. It's tempting to go over there and just gawk at it, but I'm guessing our adventures will take us to Darkwater Crossing eventually. I don't know if the troll would be ballsy enough to cross the bridge. Hey, look at this. Is he looking at us? Or the troll? Okay, troll's heading back. Look at the fort's been occupied, I think, by stormcloaks. Let's have a look. Yeah. Stormcloaks moved in after we cleared it out. Looks like they cleaned up their dead and everything. That's good. Hey.
Need something?
No, just checking in. Huh. Alright, cool. Much better than having it just sit empty, waiting for a group of bandits to come along or something. Okay, so we've got kind of a narrow river valley here, and really the only way up is by road. So we'll just have to take our chances. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming along with me on this adventure, and I will see you next time.